Hello, 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 and welcome to today's edition of the Cheap Pop Podcast, brought to you by First GenXers. Uh, let me tell you guys, we're gonna open up with some good talk here. So I hope you decided to join us early today because we are about to talk.
Hmm.
The double D's are up, and not in the way that you think. Daredevil Born Again season two kicked off with episode one, and I do like the fact that they did not give us all 8, 10 episodes at the same time. They're giving us one now, two next week, and then one every week after that. And we're also getting a Punisher special at the last
Yep.
week after it all.
Uh,
Uh,
I think is it called Welcome Back, Frank?
I believe so. I didn't catch the name. I just saw
Because
on the
if
list
that
that
if that is the
the eighth
name,
episode. Yeah.
yeah. If that, I'm still for our listeners. I am still non streaming internet capable, so I'm still using my mobile hotspot on my phone to join these two. I've heard rumors about the Punisher special. I knew that there was going to be one, but I've heard news of the title. And if it is indeed Welcome Back, Frank, that's another legendary Punisher storyline.
Yeah. Very much so. Very much so. And what I'll say, a fan of the show or a friend of the show, Mr. Jaimel, also pointed out to me that he thinks they're going with it after this episode of
Yeah.
uh, the Devil in Cell Block C, I believe is what it was
If
the what
oh
you
yeah,
yeah
the problem is that there's so much AI slop.
yeah
The pics we have of Matt in the jail cell, it looks
Mhm.
like someone just swapped out the Manhattan skyline from that rooftop ninja fight and just put in a prison cell block.
Well, like I say, this was based off of watching the Spider-Man New Day trailer and watching the first
Right,
episode of Daredevil that he came to this
right.
conclusion. So, uh, but needless to say, let's give a quick recap. The first episode called "The Northern Star." The season catches up with the darker New York City after Fisk has taken over as Kingpin and has installed this crackdown on vigilantes. So, gentlemen, Saint, go ahead and start us off with your overall thoughts on this episode, and then we'll dig into some of the more key moments.
Well, let's just say, welcome back, New York. Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, Mayor.
Yeah,
Not too much, not too much different. Martial law is in set. That's kind of scary. Karen
yeah,
Page, hooking it back up with Daredevil.
yeah, yep, yep.
Yeah, let's open up that chapter a bit.
All right, Dave, your overall thoughts on the show.
Like I said, I haven't seen it, so I'm just reacting off you guys. Uh, Matt and Karen, that's just a toxic relationship in the
But it
comics.
works. It's
I,
working though.
I understand. I understand that it works right now and that's working fine. But Matt has so many other better options. Like, you know, I really like the therapist that he was seeing in season
In the
one.
yeah,
She was great, even though she went to the dark side and became a special advisor to Fisk on mental health
yeah,
issues.
yeah. Special advisor. Yeah, you got to see this episode.
I
Yeah.
want I want to see Elektra back. I mean,
Yeah,
Elodie Young just completely nailed that role perfectly,
yeah,
and not
one
just
hundred
when
percent.
Nobu stabbed her through the chest.
She
I went there.
definitely
Yeah,
uh, she definitely was a great point of season one, and what I
in
hope to
season
be a
two. Yeah.
continued. Uh,
I
the
hope that
Cineplex.
with the hand featuring so prominently in the brand new day trailers, that we're going to have them back in Born Again,
Yeah,
just to get the chance of having Stick back and Elektra back and all the unanswered questions from the Defenders series answered.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. We'll see what happens. We're one episode deep. But one of my favorite moments came, and Dave, this is full spoiler alert. Sorry, friend.
No, don't worry about it.
Came towards the end of the episode when Matt is coming to save Cherry and gets into a fight with like what has to be saying like 10, 12 different members of the vigilante task force. And Matt is winning the fight like he should.
Yeah.
He's in Daredevil.
Yep.
And I forget what distracts him. But something distracts him for a split second. And he catches a right hook and then a left foot and then an uppercut. And they just swarm him.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, this has been building up the entire episode. Matt's been running around in the dark, in the shadows. He's now also just nod to the costume people. He's now got the DD Daredevil
logo
outfit. Yeah. On the logo or logo on the outfit. So I'm all about that. But he's basically getting beat down. They're kicking him in the face, hitting him in the back of the head with a gun, all that shit. And of course, he's human, so like it hurts.
Yeah.
And so at the end of it all, they basically pull his mask off. And Cherry's sitting there having a heart attack, basically. And like, oh my God, they'll know. And they're all sitting there like, oh my God, it's Matt Murdock. Isn't he that blind lawyer? Da-da-da. And they're all talking to each other, right? And they're all basically like, yeah, we're going to tell. All of a sudden, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullets to the head, dome, every shot, perfect, straight through the eye. All right. Now, here's what's funny. It's saying, you can tell me if this was your initial reaction.
I was like,
when it happened, I went, hold on. When it happened, I went, Punisher. I was like, that's Punisher. Until the knife comes flying in the window and lands.
Yeah, it says you're welcome.
And it says you're welcome with a little bullseye in the middle of it. Yeah. And I was like, all right. Yeah. And that ends the episode. So we don't know what happens after this until next week. But
that was I listen, seriously, I seriously thought he was getting to go. Yeah, I was like, Frank, I was like, fuck yeah. Like, here he comes. But then I look at the knife and I'm like, this son of a bitch, man. Why him?
Because think about it. Well, even though he doesn't work within a mask, Fisk going after masked vigilantes basically means even the bad guys who wear masks and all of that. So to an extent, they're both on the same side, and it serves no good to anybody for Matt Murdock to get outed at this point. So maybe that's why. I could see that angle. But it was an interesting end to a very interesting episode from pillar to post. The fight scenes were chef's kiss, as always.
Yeah. Those yeah. Couple of us pretty brutal. Matt was getting fucked up. He was getting like his ass was getting beat. His ass kind of like that first episode, like that very first. It was like that fight that took place in episode 2 of season 1, the hallway fight. Yeah, it was that kind of shit.
But
what were you saying, Dave?
If there's any Marvel character that gets beat up more on the regular than Daredevil, it's Spider-Man. You gotta give him lying down on the ground, breathing hard before they get that super adrenaline and go all Super Cena.
But I think here's the difference between the two, and this is just a funny ha-ha.
I don't know.
Is Spider-Man takes a butt whooping during every fight because he's always fighting somebody like 3 times his size. Like Spider-Man is very rarely ever fighting somebody his own size.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's gonna be a beat down aspect to that. Like even with Kingpin, who's not like super strong, with Kingpin was able to just bow for a little bit until Spider-Man decided he was done with that shit. You know, but and let loose. But I with Matt Murdock,
Facts.
I think it's a part of the. You guys know the show Leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys know the character Elliot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elliot does what he does because he's trying to wipe blood from his ledger, a la Black Widow, a la Hawkeye
Yeah.
from the MCU, right? I think it's kind of a similar thing with Daredevil. I think he likes taking a beating because he feels that it's him serving penance for whatever he
Well,
feels.
I
You
mean,
know, he's done
oh,
wrong.
both
Just enough.
I don't know.
Daredevil and Spider-Man have insane guilt complexes, savior complexes.
Yeah.
That's
They do what they do
that's their big
because
weakness.
yeah, one time. All right. So that being said, we kind of strayed off topic, but Daredevil Born Again season 1, go check it out. It's worth watching. Season 2 episode 2 should be out this Tuesday, I believe. So
It
coming
is.
Tuesday. All right. So next up is another Disney Plus Marvel series is going to get a second season.
Yep.
That's right. You heard me correct. Vonderman is getting a second season. We will see more of the antics and adventures of Wonder Man. Yeah, I'm here for it. Fellas, Dave, kick us off with your thoughts. Dave?
Well, damn.
Yeah, okay.
That was an interesting take. If we
Yeah.
knew what it was. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Saint, going ahead. Dave, we can't hear you, bro.
All right. Considering how that last episode ended, the whole fake out thing and the guy getting paid and actually being able to get inside that prison, that was a stroke of fucking genius. Okay.
How about now?
And
Yes,
that to
Hear me
me
now?
was
Okay,
to
good.
me that was a stroke of genius. That whole plan, the way it was like a final. It's kind of like a final action scene. You know what I mean? Just it was good. So yeah, I'm
really
looking
want
forward
to
to
see
that
how
next one.
I want to see how Damage Control responds to this because Simon just completely nuked all of his Hollywood aspirations just when he achieved them all to save Trevor. So that's gonna be interesting buddy series on the road, and we'll see what they go. Now, here's what I want. I want season 2 of Moon Knight, and I know Oscar Isaacs isn't exactly on good terms with Disney right now. And Disney needs to fix that ASAP. I want season 2 of She-Hulk. Again, Disney needs to repair their relationship with Tatiana Maslany. Okay,
fair enough.
I want more seasons of those. It looks like we're getting another season of Agatha All Along.
I hope so.
Which I think that they're not going to have any problems with. But after Vision Quest, I think I'm kind of done with the Wanda and Vision drama for a bit.
Oh, that's not even close to over because isn't he the center point of Armored Wars?
Possibly. We don't know. And yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to get I'd like to get my damn Armor Wars series already. Please and thank you. You've been edging me
Well,
for
look,
5 years on that.
I'll in the meantime, I'll take a second season of Wonder Man. The first season really was something special. I don't know, like it's really funny to me because all of the series in which like I wish Disney went like 10 to 12 episodes with, they ended in like 6 to 8. And
Yeah.
all the ones that I wish that they ended in like 6 to 8, they drug on to like 16.
Yeah, they're still trying to
Like, yeah.
find the magic, the golden ratio for episode numbers,
12 to
and
13
for the
is
pacing.
beautiful. Yeah.
Now, Captain America and Winter Soldier, I'm ambivalent about that. I could take or
Okay.
leave a second season.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought it did what it needed to do.
it did what it needed to do.
Highlighted what it
It
needed
doesn't
to
really need
highlight.
to, but
There's not really, it doesn't. The story really doesn't need to go on because
Yeah.
there's a story to tell of Sam as Captain America on the big
right.
screen to tell.
Yeah.
So there's not
Now-
really much of the small story to tell anymore.
Now, Bucky post Thunderbolts. Yeah, I'd be in for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Winter
I'd be in
Soldier,
for that.
just the Winter Soldier,
yeah.
and then maybe Sam just
Just-
like makes an
yeah.
appearance. Yeah, I could go for that.
Congressman Barnes uncovering something. Nobody's doing anything about it. So he has to go off the books and do something about it.
I could see that working. All right. So that is going to wrap us up for Hot Topics. So we're going to play the intro as we go out of this one, and then I'll play the intro for the next segment. Yes, because we got to get our intro right. We got to. All right. So you were just watching Hot Topics. You are now watching Pop Culture Corner.
Down in front. I'm just kidding.
Everything made sense. Everything made sense. You just got to think about it for a little bit. It's a thinker. Okay. It's a thinker.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Two faces. It's a thinker.
It's a thinker.
reference to Harley Quinn season 2. Yeah.
Oh man, I love that character. Always have, always will.
The entire show is fantastic. Speaking of needing another season.
Yep. We open up Pop Culture Corner with a sad topic, at least for these two gentlemen. And that is Paramount Plus cancels the Starfleet Academy show.
Yep.
So, gentlemen, Saint, kick us off with your thoughts on this cancellation of a beloved show. It was still in its first season, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't, the way Trek usually is. And it's, it was different. And it was pretty much, you have young cadets that are, trying to get through, the classes or what have you. But it's like a few centuries later, like 10 centuries later.
Something like that,
yeah. And these are all, good stories, finding out, finally finding out that, what happened with Benjamin Sisko. That was probably, to me, the episode for me, the entire, first season, because listen, we don't know, none of us ever knew what it was all about. When Deep Space Nine ended, I mean, that was like one of the most, that was like people was pissed off behind Deep Space Nine's ending, what the fuck? Now we had a little bit of, just a little bit of closure, not a lot of closure, but just enough to be like, okay, we're good. I'm actually sad to see, to see it. I love Gina Yashir, especially,
Oh, yeah.
being the,
Jim Hadar.
the Jemadar, Holly Hunter,
Mhm.
Stephen Colbert playing the
Mm.
announcements, and even with the doctor coming back, Robert Picardo as the
Yeah.
doctor coming back, you know, years after being on Star Trek Voyager, and realizing that all of these people, all these centuries later, it's like these are people that he knew and had passed. Like,
Yeah.
it's really crazy.
Um,
But
by the
yeah,
way,
I'm kind of sad about that.
just a reminder. I do have later on in pop culture. I do have a announcement for regarding Mr. Colbert. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, again, I I like it. It's
Mhm.
fantastic, but the problem is, and this is part of what I was alluding to on Facebook yesterday, where
Okay.
we get into this conversation where fandom is like getting addicted to a recreational drug. Not like coke or heroin or anything like that. I'm talking about like alcohol, weed, tobacco, even coffee,
Mhm.
where you get the hit of happy brain juice. You say this is fucking awesome, and then nothing else will do. Everything has to be like that. Some people just keep chasing that dragon, wanting to get,
Mhm.
and it's never going to do it. It's never going to hit because talk to anyone who's been an addict, and there's always a drop off. Consecutive hits are always less and less and less, and people keep trying to get back the same thing, and that's what leads to all the misery in the
Yeah.
fandom, is people just not accepting that, um, people expecting everything regarding this IP to give them the same rush and cater to
I,
them and their
I see where
understanding,
you're going
their
with it.
worldview, and
Well,
that's just it's just not
I
how it can work. It's not sustainable
one
because
one of
if you make
go ahead.
something, you know what appeals to everyone, what everyone can eat: oatmeal. That's what you've got when you try to appeal to the maximum number of viewers, readers, subscribers, whatever. You put out oatmeal, bland, non offensive, just essential stuff, and
Well,
yeah.
here's what it is. I can agree with you there in summing up what you were saying. Like, yeah, there becomes a dilution to certain IPs if you try to continue to produce new and new and new, and you continue to reuse and reuse and reuse. Um, I think with this particular Star Trek thing, it's not that there wasn't an audience for it. I think that their eyes may have been bigger than what their actual audience was. It's
I
kind of like somebody saying, "Oh my God, with this topic, we're gonna get 3,000 people to download our podcast," and then you
Right.
actually get 200.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that you were wrong. It was just you overestimated what the
Well,
audience was
and
going to be. And I think that's sometimes what happens with fandom, is that with fandom they begin to that with every good chapter of that fandom's of that story, whatever, the fandom
yeah,
begins to expect more and more, and they set their expectations so high that it ends up causing them not to be satisfied with anything that's given to them. And
I think that that's a small section. I think that this is
I will be
talking
right
about
back. Hold on.
catering to the peanut gallery, the ones who review bomb the acolyte, who review bomb, all these quote unquote woke projects and say that's not real Star Trek, that's not real Star Wars, that's not real X-Men, dot 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 dot, because it doesn't cater to their point of view. It gets into the point of view of others. I mean, you're talking about Gina Yasher, beautiful woman, but not classically aesthetic the way that a lot of Star Trek fans are fantasizing about. You kind of have to be into the muscle mommy in order to start having those kind of fantasies about her character. And a lot of the alpha male Trek folks are not into that. They want to be the dominator, not the dominated one. And they want to be the strong person in the relationship. But talking about, having a gay Klingon, oh my God, the horror. And they're ignoring the history and development of Star Trek. They're pretending that, that episode where Riker had sex with that androgynous alien didn't happen. They're pretending that Roddenberry wasn't an admitted polyamorous individual who even said that he wished that he had a gay phase. They don't know, and they don't want to know. They just want their pew pew, their alien love kisses, and that's it.
I will say this. I don't think that. Hold on. I don't think that this show getting canceled had to do with the content of the show to that level. I think that it does,
considering. I think it does, considering the recent merger. But go ahead.
Hold on. But I think what it is this. I think to an extent, I think that there is an audience for Star Trek, but again, I think that the people prior to the merger hasn't officially happened. Like it's been done on paper, but it hasn't officially
I know
happened. But I think the show is canceled because they overestimated what they thought was what they thought the audience was going to be, and when it didn't turn out to be that, they cut the ties instead of seeing this as something that is as big of an audience as there is for Star Trek out there. If you really read the tea leaves, people are getting Star Trek out. The diehard fans are loving it. I akin it to AEW. The diehard AEW fans love AEW. The fact of the matter is that AEW is appealing to a niche audience now, and I think that Star Trek is in a similar vein. I don't think it's necessarily not as popular. I just think that it appeals less to the casual sci-fi viewer than it does to the people who either grew up or fell in love at some point with the Star Trek
That's a good point. That's a valid point. But I think
also
go for it.
Well, let me field this. We got to look at we got to be able to look at the difference between what was on then and what's on now in terms of TV. You have to be able to understand it's a whole different scene.
Ecosystem.
It's a whole different ecosystem, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Things are a lot more different than what it is, but sometimes certain narratives, it's like if you put too much in it, it's like sometimes you have a bowl of soup, you put enough in there just to to give it that flavor, but sometimes the cap falls off and there's a whole bunch of salt, and then there's too much of what's over here when it should be over here.
Okay.
when you lean into those types of subjects. Now, not to say that anything is politically correct, because I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people started leaning into this as, you know, Star Trek being hit on the political end. Some people are gonna look at it that way, but the business of Hollywood and how things go is not necessarily that, but it's necessarily almost to what Kevin was saying. You got to remember Star Trek Discovery right behind that. Then you got Star Trek Strange New Worlds. You got behind that, and then boom, 10 centuries later comes Starfleet Academy, and they're like, well, wait a minute. We want this Trek.
Yeah.
We want this Trek to succeed, but in some senses, we need the Trek. Because I to be honest, and not to knock the 30th century, but I was hoping to get some more 24th going into the 25th century Star Trek, and, you know, talking about, you know, old ass Admiral Picard talking about, you know, Gage, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's
I get that, but
yeah.
But okay, so couple points for me, and then I'll shut up. But to your point, saying about too much salt in the soup, or people feeling that there's too much salt in the soup. The same could be said for stuff like Far Beyond the Stars. I mean, which lean very, very heavily into the Black experience in the 1960s. Okay, so Star Trek has always been about the human experience from multiple points of view, infinite diversity in infinite combinations. IDIC, the motto of the Vulcan Science Academy. Okay, so all these viewpoints are necessary to explore the human condition, what makes us human, even if we express our humanity differently. And what people were getting upset about is that humanity was being expressed in terms of people, whether it's physiological, whether it's psychological, whether it's emotional. They don't like those people. They are conditioned to hate those people. And something that Mr. William Shatner, by the way, happy 95th birthday to Captain Kirk. William Shatner went on social media and he completely owned people who had been complaining about the woke stuff and said, you know what? You are the same type of people that demanded Star Trek get canceled when I kissed a black woman in 1960s on television. Star Trek has always been progressive, and people cannot handle that. They cannot handle having to adjust their viewpoint to see these people as human, quote unquote.
Now hold on.
Worthy of respect.
I think that is where I say that the scope of the other person has to, of the person that's being victimized, so to speak, or the anti-woke crowd, or the person that they're targeting, the anti-woke crowd. And it has to be said like this. This is one aspect of this whole thing that I never get, especially when it comes to television and streaming. If Star Trek Fleet Academy is not your cup of tea,
don't watch it.
There are literally 800,000 other things that you can watch. Why torture yourself by watching it and then degrading it. I
Exactly.
think, and this, and now this, hold on, this will lead to the grand overall topic before we move forward to the next topic, is that that I'm putting down is that we've gotten to this point with entertainment in society where we no longer, because of our interactions with social media, etc. I can't psychologize it. I'm not a psychologist. I don't do that type of stuff. But the way I see it is because of our incessant need to control that is constantly fed by social media, we feel this need to control our entertainment. Whereas I think pre-social media, we didn't feel a need to do that. We sat down, we watched a TV show, and we either liked it or we didn't. But if we didn't, we changed the channel and just stopped watching it and watched something else. And maybe that was
Exactly.
partial, that was because there was no internet to go bitch on. You know what I'm saying? But people like hate watch this stuff and then go on the internet to complain about it. If a show is too woke for you, if the message within the show does not vibe with what you believe, there are literally over 1,000 other television channels that you can watch. I am sure you can find one or two that vibes with whatever it is that you vibe with. You don't
And
have to watch this just because it's Star Trek and you happen to like the old Star Trek. You don't
yeah,
have to watch it. If you tune into an episode or two and don't like it, stop watching. And
yeah,
trust me, if enough people tune it out because it's that bad, as horrible as you make it out to be, then they will cancel it and we will move on. But I don't think that this particular cancellation is because of that. I think it's more of Star Trek fatigue than it is about Star Trek hatred. I think we just have too many Star Trek, and it's kind of like people are complaining about the Marvel universe right now. It's just too much to keep up with between the shows and the movies and so on and so forth. So for
right.
some people, just adding another Star Trek show to watch or to have to interact with to know more of the story, it just kind of pushes them over the edge, and so they choose not
And
to watch.
I
And
totally
I believe
agree.
that some of that, or sorry, that some of the
Yeah, yeah.
negativity and pushback on the show came from exactly what you're talking about. But I think the cancellation leans more into fatigue in this isn't getting the type of numbers that maybe even Picard did,
Mhm.
when it came out, and stuff like that. Because like you said, Star Trek has always been woke.
Yeah.
So I don't
But
necessarily think it's the woke messages that are causing the tilt against it,
yeah,
so to speak.
there's definitely multi layers to this, and I think that
Yeah.
another layer that needs to get addressed is the 5 billion streaming services,
Mhm.
all different in there. You want to
Mhm.
watch Starfleet Academy, you got to subscribe to Paramount Plus or YouTube Plus.
Mhm.
You want to watch this, you got to subscribe to another premium service for $15 a month, or this, or this, or this. And
Here's what's
it's
well.
right. It's feeding a return to the golden age of peer-to-peer internet piracy. That's what we're getting back to, and that's why the numbers just aren't there anymore, because this need to have everything in-house is diluting everyone's efforts. It's not like when it was just, okay, I've got Netflix and I got Amazon Prime. I'm pretty much good for streaming right now. Now, okay, I gotta get Apple Plus, I gotta get Disney Plus, I gotta get Max, I gotta get Paramount Plus. You're ending up spending like $150 a month
Well,
beyond your cable bill just to be able to get all the shows that you're interested in.
I wouldn't say that, because I think, yes, if you include the internet itself, yes, it comes out to a little bit more. It depends on what your watching habits are too. Because like I've had to trim a couple of streaming apps off my services
Oh yeah,
because like I don't really watch them anymore. I never really watched them. I just kind of had them just to have them. But needless to say, we got to move forward. But yes, it's a valid point, and we'll have a topic on that in the
we'll
coming
have
weeks
many,
about
many
how streaming has
discussions about
uh,
this over the
streaming
coming
affects
years.
how people, because I personally think that cable being greedy is what killed cable TV. If cable
Yeah,
had went the other way when streaming services came out and started lowering their prices, I think more people would have been willing to have cable over having.
And we're seeing
over having multiple.
streaming killing itself through its greed. Yeah.
So, well, I don't know. There's still billions of people out there signed up to just about every major streaming service. So I don't know. I don't know about if it's killing itself, but it's definitely angering the populace.
It's putting itself in a box.
Yes, 100%. All right. So speaking of boxes, no.
Yeah.
We have Sword Art Online creator.
Yes.
What's his name? I'm looking for his name.
Reki Kawahara.
Yes. Has a new anime, and it is called Demon's Crest in Japan, but in America it will be called Devil's Crest.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this, Dave?
I am all up for this. Sword Art Online is one of my favorite anime series. Well, season 1 and season 2 are, because you get, once you start getting into season 3, you get into the people acting stupid trope of, oh no, we swear that this, virtual reality interface technology is totally safe now. Nobody's going to die. Somebody gets killed in there, so they have to bring back Kirito in to investigate and try to figure out what's going on throughout the entire season.
Oh my God.
And then season 4, totally safe this time, folks. No way of somebody killing another person in this world. Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. So, yeah. So I'm excited for it.
So the repetitive theme is every time you think everything is safe, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, Sword Art Online seasons 1 and 2 are fantastic. But there's a precursor sequel series called Excel World, ACCEL, that sort of ties in with the general concept of Sword Art Online. It's came out before SAO, but it takes place after the events of SAO. So we'll see how it goes. And right now it's Devil's Crest, Demon's Crest is in the light novel stage, being produced by mega publisher Kadokawa. And it's going to go to an anime. Let's see. Yeah, and we know it's going to be an anime. And the original light novels have been licensed by Yen Press for an English language release as well as the anime release. So we got a scheduled release sometime this year, but don't know exactly when. We'll see how it goes.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Next up, we got
going to be about. Devil's Crest is going to be. Yet another series about a massive online game, but the twist is that it will feature a class of 6th graders who are trapped within a virtual world as it starts to blend together with the real world one day.
Oh my God.
Devil's Crest then sees a demon possessing the main character's sister, and the two need to somehow work together to make sure these kids can survive everything that's coming their way.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's rock and roll.
Working a little cosmic horror into there.
Now, for those of you who may or may not remember this show, I actually do remember this show when it was turned into an animated series on MTV. But it was known as The Max. And unfortunately, it's
Double X.
Yeah,
artist,
Sam Keith.
and Max Double X passed
Sam
away.
Keith.
And guys, your thoughts on the passing of Sam Keith?
Huge impact on the 90s comic scene.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Rob Liefeld,
did he do the head too or no?
He may have. If it was angular, slightly distorted body proportions, it was going to be Sam
Mhm.
Keith.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he's right up there with Liefeld, Lee as one of the influential artists, and he did create some of the original art for Neil Gaiman's Sandman.
Nice.
Yeah, and died at 63 years old.
What up, Camper Gamer? Thanks for joining us in the YouTube.
Yeah. Yep. And unfortunately, he suffered from Lewy body dementia, the
Mhm.
same thing that led to Robin Williams passing.
Mm. Well,
Yeah.
he gave
But
something beautiful to the world.
Yeah. He penciled the first 5 issues of Sandman.
Okay.
So that's the style. Like I said, the angular, slightly distorted body styles.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll say, well, may he rest in peace.
Absolutely.
His family is doing well after the loss.
Yep.
All right, our next story is kind of a weird one. But the subject I kind of want to talk about is the last part of the subject, which is Eve D'Amici breaks silence on Man of Tomorrow rumors and amid more negative Supergirl test screening buzz. I was wondering if any of you have heard about what's going on. That it's
Well, the rumor is that she is going to be signed up to appear in Man of Tomorrow to play Maxima.
Who is?
Now, okay, so in the 90s, Maxima was an alien princess from the planet Alterac who came to get a super booty call. Because Superman is the perfect mate for her. And they are a genetic match and would make beautiful, superpowered babies together. She's basically just as strong and capable as Wonder Woman is, but with additional mental abilities. So she just said, "Yes, you shall have." She's literally is like, "Yes, you shall have the honor of laying with me and
don't we all
putting your seed within my womb to produce the new royal line of Almerac." And Superman's all like, Clark's all like, "Nope. I mean, I already got this really great girl. Nope. I'm sorry. I don't love you." It's like, you are rejecting the honor of being my royal concubine? And starts pounding around Metropolis. She did briefly become a hero around the death of Superman era, joined the Justice League. But yeah, she was definitely a that girl.
Yeah, we do. We game. Yeah, that.
So we'll see.
That reminds me of the. Oh.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
No, I was just saying that reminds me of the dude from the Boondocks.
Yeah.
I seized the booty. I was gonna take the booty.
But
yeah, do this the easy way or the hard way?
No. He goes. He says. He's like. Because he goes. Chris Hansen. He said, "I like you, and I want you. And we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way."
It's definitely going to be. It will definitely be an interesting addition to Man of Tomorrow, considering Brainiac is going to be the main BBEG, and also the really solid relationship that Clark and Lois had in Superman. And not perfectly smooth. They had disagreements, but they are definitely a couple that has each other's back. And yeah, I can see Lois being put in some peril by Maxima, but
there you go.
Clark tries to save her, but Lois ends up saving herself a couple times.
Well, Yeah, on his own page. I'll say no. Saint plays classics, 8 bits. Uh, Knights RuneScar plays Spider-Man, Horizon, games
I
like
do
that.
lots
I'm the
of
sports.
open world.
I
Yeah,
play.
open
I
world.
pretty much play everything.
Yeah.
Every
I'm
generation, every generation, but especially I just really started doing the 8-bit stuff, but
yeah,
I'm more or less PS3,
Okay.
PS2,
yeah,
and I mean PS5. I do it all.
yeah.
PC, I'm
Yeah.
just really kicking in, but
Dark Lord
And
is mostly sports
yep.
and weekend JRPGs. I am currently direct internetless because of some house problems with the electrical system leading to my cable box. That should be fixed this week. Right now, I'm streaming with these two gentlemen, courtesy of my mobile hotspot on my phone. So, um, but
All right.
that's no good for streaming games on.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
but glad to join us. Welcome to the family and the viewership.
Mm-hmm. So again, gentlemen, have we never did quite touch on if you guys had heard about the negative Supergirl reviews and what were your thoughts on that?
not really. And sometimes I really just don't lean
Yep.
particularly into that,
Yeah.
because we already know that every freaking movie for some
Is
reason is going to
is going to
get,
get review
yeah, it's
bombed,
going to get,
Nice.
and
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Good job.
and
So
so it's
we
like
just have to wait. We'll just have to wait until, we just
yeah,
have to wait until we see it.
yeah, and as I'm slowly growing as a person on social media, I'm learning to spot and block the toxic fandom that comes
Yeah.
across. So,
Yeah. Gotta keep an eye on that. All right,
yeah,
y'all. So that is going to close us out for our first half of the show. Actually, wait a minute. One more thing before we go. I'm gonna keep doing this every week
mm.
until they have a mega following, which they already do.
Oh,
Let's see. Go on, Dave.
okay. Just remembered the Stephen Colbert name drop earlier brought this to my mind. Mr. Colbert, after he's done with the Late Show,
Mhm.
he and his son will be writing and directing one of the next Lord of the Rings movies.
Wow.
That's his next project.
Wow.
Yep.
Can't wait to see that. Stephen Colbert presents The Lord of the Rings, huh?
Yep. I believe that I can't find the article, but I believe it's going to be adventuring in the Fourth Age, which is just after Aragorn is crowned, and there's a whole lot of cleanup work that needs to get done after Sauron's been banished for good.
Yeah.
Lots of evil factions that need to get
Dealt
beat
with.
back. Reunification with Gondor's brothers in the north, in Andor. Not
He's
the
not
Star Wars
impressed
pew
by it at
pew,
all.
but the lost tribes of men that lived in the Northlands that Aragorn came from. So yeah, lots of potential there. We'll definitely be keeping watch on that because Stephen Colbert, he could get into a trivia contest with the professor himself over what is in the Lord of the Rings and what is not.
All right, and Camper Gamer says, "Point man, you do not look impressed with this news about Lord of the Rings."
I mean, listen. I'm happy. Listen, I was happy with the animated movie back in the 70s as a youth. I get that. And then I was also impressed with the 6 movies with Peter Jackson. We don't need anything to be rehashed this quick right now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is not a rehashment. This is stuff that goes beyond Lord of the Rings. This is stuff that has not been filmed before.
Okay.
In
Then
anything.
Okay, so then we just need to start looking at other stuff because I mean we already have the Lord of the Rings the series right now on Amazon.
which
Like
is the Rings of
yeah,
Power, which is
yeah,
not. It's not actual lore.
yeah.
It's
So
it's a
yeah,
half-assed attempt. It's like the Wheel of
I,
Time.
I think this falls under the same category that I just kind of talked about with Star Trek. I
Right.
think to an extent, as pop culture goes, we're kind of Lord of the Rings out. Like not in the sense that like it wouldn't. I think they just need to be very humble in their expectations of
Right.
how they expect this movie to go. With people being kind of
Right. Especially
you know,
since Embracer Group, which apparently has the movie and video game rights to the Tolkien estate, they've been losing massive. They've been bleeding cash because Hunt for Gollum fell flat on its face. The video game, Rings of Power, has not proven to be what folks want.
yeah.
And so they're kind of almost in panic mode as well.
Okay. All right. So last subject before we go to break. I just wanted to tell you guys again, if you have not been watching season 4 of Invincible, or you
oh
need
my
to
gosh,
catch your ass up and get
look, we're
here.
trying to catch up, bro.
Because
It is so many shows, man. It is
this
so
season, this season. Oh, and last, not really. Yeah, but yeah, definitely check out that was kind of a joke, but kind of not. But also bad news in that the show that was Talamasca has been canceled. They will be getting no season 2. I find that to be a bummer because I enjoyed the show and they left season 1 on a cliffhanger, so that sucks. But yeah, Talamasca will not be coming back to A&E. But we are getting the Vampire Lestat. So that's going to be season 4 of Invincible on Prime Video. Invincible, the animated series, superhero series on Prime. But all right, coming up after the break, we will be back with a little Smackdown Alley and also some video game talk. So please stick with us, and we'll be gone for about 4 minutes, and we'll be back. Y'all have a good night or a good day. Peace.
We back at it. Yep, we still doing it. Poetic beat. First GenXers. Gia. Let's get it, y'all. Come on. We back in the building. It's been a long time cooking in the soup kitchen. And I'm chilling with the same. Dropping these beats, won't stop, nope, I can't. Let me get up in the lab, turn it up. Game on with the first GenXers. What's up? Let's flip on the Switch or the Xbox and get up in my zone, I'm clowning. Let me clear my throat for a minute. Shout out to my folks while I'm in it. It ain't nothing but love, it's babe business. I really don't know what's so who ain't feeling this. And this is only the beginning. Now versus then, this is something for the chillin'. Poetic got the joints like McDonald's. I'm loving it. It's the first gen. We're now rocking with Poetic Beats. This is the first GenXers production. Get your PlayStations out. Get your Xbox out. Get your Switch out. Let's get it in, y'all. Holla back.
You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely.
Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving
giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me. I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma
Adam's family like dynamic between Pugsley and Wednesday. Like, very true.
Yeah.
Well, I always temper this because I think
I did not like the Proceeding Caution tagline.
I've also seen what Chase Center looks like when the Valkyries are fucking playing, so fuck all of you. Because Chase Center is packed no matter what's going on.
Haha, now we can be heard. What is up, y'all? And welcome back. We jump immediately into SmackDown Alley, where we all talk about big smetty men slapping meat in the ring. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna keep, as long as
That
Big E
just
keeps saying
sounds-
it, I'm gonna keep saying it. It
That
sounds
just
wrong.
sounds-
It's supposed to.
That just sounds so wrong.
But during SmackDown Alley, really, there isn't any pay-per-views during to talk about during this week, 6 to 8 week stretch. Why? Because we are in WrestleMania season.
We are
Hey,
on
Tech.
the road to WrestleMania.
Yes. All right. And of course, this week started with the Monday Night Raw, which had a few good matches on it that we'll just run through real quick. And then we'll get into the actual subjects we'll talk about from this Raw. You had the Vision win via disqualification against Jey Uso and against the Usos when Jey snaps and hits both Theory and Logan Paul with brass knuckles. You had Javon Evans defeat Grayson Waller clean with one of the most beautiful OG cutters I've ever seen in my life. Bailey and Lyra Valkyria defeated the Kabuki Warriors. The beautiful Miss Valkyria landed her Nightwing driver for the win. Yes, sir. And then Penta was successful in defense of his Intercontinental title against former champion Dom Mysterio and current AAAL Mega Champion, as Finn Balor interrupted and proceeded to beat down both JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. All right, so those were the primary matches that took place. But Raw opened up with a really interesting segment as we opened up Raw, or not opened up Raw, with Paul Heyman coming out and cutting a promo on the one and only Obafemi while Brock Lesnar stands in the ring doing what Brock Lesnar does, smiling, looking big, and looking tough.
Yeah. But of course, that's just not how it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's just not been. It just hasn't really been Brock's couple of weeks, Yeah, because he got foot to ass properly put
slurp,
to
slurp,
him.
slurp.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got to sip my tea just on
No,
that.
it's all good. It was just
He put him
technical.
on his. I'm sorry. He just put him on his back. You know, literally on his back twice.
Here's the thing I said. And there's some out there outside of Paul Heyman. Tech Tinker's fooling around in the comments. Shut up. Gonna say that would say Obafemi is overrated. I would say Obafemi is overhyped. I would say they're booking the man as a monster, and a monster is what he is. Obafemi came out, took a kick to the gut from Brock Lesnar, powered out of the F5, only to clothesline Brock over the top rope. Let me say this from a fan's point of view, and then let me say this as a person who's looked at and tried to analyze wrestling for the better part of the past decade plus. Brock is making that boy look like $1 million. Brock is making Obafemi look like $1 million right now. And don't get me wrong, yes, Oba already looked like $1 million as far as the appearance and the presentation. But now Brock Lesnar is making Obafemi look like a true threat to any and every world champion that exists out there. You hear that who, you know the ruler's coming for you. And yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. All right. So that was the first part of Raw. Then we had the segment with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. And he came out into the middle of the ring, called out Seth Rollins, and got
Keystone Cops.
Yep.
Seth still have his ninja army?
No, not this time.
Okay.
Toy Cops.
Yeah. Because Paul Heyman showed up with the police. But
like I said, Toy Cops.
He had my favorite line out of all of Raw. When he said, "What did you think, Seth? My family? I come from a family of snitches. We tell on everybody." And I was like, "Paul, no, you didn't." He was like, "Yeah, we call the police and we get restraining orders. And since you were within 500 feet of me, you're violating a restraining order, which is a felony. Now you're going to jail." I was just like, Paul. And of course, in classic Paul Heyman fashion, he has to take it too far and starts talking about, yeah, when your wife goes crazy and they need somebody to adopt your child, I'll adopt your child. I'm like, Paul.
Yeah, that kind of went too far.
Yeah,
that took that. Yeah.
But
you really want your head torn the fuck right off, man. No, dude.
And then we also had, this is SmackDown. Was she on? Yeah, it was on Raw. So on Raw, we also had Becky Lynch come out and cut herself a little promo, only to be joined by AJ Lee and to run away, which is great. Becky running away into the crowd. And AJ Lee then proceeds to tell Becky Lynch that she wants to beat her ass at WrestleMania. And the challenge is, of course, accepted by Becky. And now we're going to get AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch one-on-one for the Women's Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. And for those of you to understand who are not wrestling fans, to understand how weird, or not weird, but just how amazing to an extent this is, because you have AJ Lee, who was easily considered like one of the best of her generation. Like, the Page, so on and so. She was one of the best of her generation. She was the game changer that took us from women, from that stage of women being wrestlers and still being valets, but wrestlers some of the time, to a whole nother level of women's wrestling. And then it's got taken to other levels since by people like Charlotte Flair and Bayley and Sasha Banks and etc.
Yeah.
Mercedes Moné, sorry.
Sasha Banks.
But to see her go up against Becky Lynch, who is questionably the GOAT of this generation. Like, she doesn't have the amount of titles that Charlotte Flair has, but her impact on the game has been as big as Charlotte Flair's. She's been in as many big money matches as Charlotte Flair has been in at WrestleMania. She beat Charlotte Flair in the only triple threat, women's main event of WrestleMania ever, between her, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey. It's so epic to see the two of them clash, and especially over a title as new as the Women's Intercontinental title. So, I'm here for it. Any thoughts, gentlemen?
Man, listen, I am all for it. AJ Lee, when she got out of the game, and retired, we never thought we would ever see her again. Mm-hmm. That's just like almost the possibility of, CM Punk coming back to WWE. It was in that, in that stage of conversation. But we knew CM Punk would eventually come back. But what about AJ Lee? Because believe you me, when I saw her appear, it was like 2013 all over again. And I was like, fuck yeah. Because, And,
I'll be honest with you, I don't think she will.
And prancing down the lane. Yeah.
Because I don't think she can actually wrestle, but I would love to see Sarah come, have AJ Lee win and beat Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, and then have Sarah come out and challenge her. Those of you who don't know who Sarah is, Sarah was formerly known in WWE as Paige. And she was the woman that the night after WrestleMania took the Divas title from AJ Lee. So I would love to see kind of a reckon back to that moment the night after WrestleMania, have Sarah come back and challenge her for the Intercontinental title. She doesn't have to win it, but I would just love to see her come back and do that just as a callback to her debut and one of AJ Lee's last matches in WWE. All right. So the last thing we'll talk about when it comes to Raw is the closing segment that was off the charts by itself. And that was the OTC, the Tribal Chief, returning and showing the best in the world why there's only one Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. The segment broke down real weird to me. Punk came out on his way out to the ring. Jimmy Uso warns Punk, yo, bro, our brother's on a rampage. Watch what you say out there about our family. Punk comes out and in classic Punk fashion, pokes the bear. Starts talking shit about the family. And of course, out comes Jey Uso. Jey Uso gets in Punk's face, and Jimmy comes out. Jimmy comes out to tell Jay, let the OTC handle him. Punk's making little snide comments, of course, getting under hothead Jay's thing. And then Jay's like, Roman ain't gonna do nothing. Where's Roman? Right on cue, Roman's music hits. Roman walks out to the ring, steps into the ring, faces off and looks at Punk. Says, I'm going to say this. Turns and looks at Jimmy and says, I'm going to say this as respectfully as possible. Get your brother and get out my ring. Jimmy's like, all right. Yep. Turns around to Jay and starts pushing him backwards out the ring. Of course, CM Punk runs his mouth again. This sets Jay off. Jay goes to punch Punk, gets caught by surprise. Punk drops him. Jimmy comes in, is struggling with Punk, and Roman hits him in the back of the head with a Superman hit punch, dropping Punk. Of course, Adam Pearce and every other security member that was left from the local wrestling federation came out to stand in between CM Punk and Roman Reigns and pushed CM Punk and pushed Roman Reigns out the ring as Punk was laying on the ground and smiling for some odd reason. And in a moment of clarity, in the return of the tribal chief, Jay looks at Roman and does not refer to him as Roman. I'm pointing this out. That's a huge thing. He does not refer to him as Roman. He says, Joe, you know what to do. Get his ass. Smash him. Smash him. Roman is in the process of getting out the ring, stops, hears Jay, stands up, goes into the corner, does his classic ooh-ah, and proceeds to spear the living out of CM Punk.
Mm-hmm. And it looked like it hurt.
Yeah, and then proceeds to roll CM Punk to the outside of the ring, where he picks him up and power bonds him through the announce table. And then he grabs him and tells him, what did you think was going to happen when you woke me up? What did you think was going to happen? And he proceeds to beat CM Punk for a little bit more. And then he leaves. Now, oh yeah, and by the way, the last scene is a Punk laying on the ground saying, I'm not the one who needs help, and laughing. Referring to Roman Reigns. He's the one that needs his family. I like it. I'm liking this setup. I don't care what nobody else says. I don't care if they dislike it. I don't care if they hate it. I love it. I think that it is a big thing to watch. Damn, Jimmy. I'll say it. But yeah, so yeah, like I'm loving it. That I think last week the your old line hit kind of weak to me. But this week, I think that they did good that with keeping it to minimal words between Punk and Roman Reigns, because you can only watch them perform basically similar promos every week for like 2 or 3 weeks before you're going to start tuning out. So shit needed to get physical, and it needed to get physical fast, and it just did. So yeah, that was my moment right there. So gentlemen, if you watched Raw, what are your thoughts on that final segment and the awakening of the tribal beast in Roman Reigns?
Well, let's fight. LFG, let's fucking go. Hey, listen, I want to see it already because we know this is what's been going. This has led up since Punk got back in.
Mm-hmm.
We already know with Seth Rollins, we already know where that was going. But with Roman Reigns, it's just a little different. It's just going to hit just a little different. And when the pain gets in the way, I'm pretty sure that the ring is probably going to, it's probably going to be dismantled. I'm sure that's going to be the very last match of the weekend. And, well, no, that'll probably be not the last match. That'll probably be the last match for night one. But, yeah, somebody's going to get hurt. And I'm just looking forward to all of it. Just get me to the end right now. We don't need to skip the next few weeks. Let's just go right now.
I said we still got 3 weeks more for WrestleMania. They still got to announce who is going to be facing Julia for the women's U.S. title. Which, by the way, just let me say this before we dig into SmackDown talk. I love what they're doing with Chelsea Green. Like the repetitive weekly joke of her coming in the screen saying something and then somebody randomly just like pushing her off screen in her wheelchair is just hilarious to me. Like it was a couple of weeks ago, she was standing there and she was talking to somebody and Nia Jax wanted to come up and talk to them. So Nia Jax came up behind her and just pushed her off screen in her in her wheelchair. She's like, oh, I was just like, okay, I'm loving this bit every single time that I see it. Anyway, so now getting down to Friday night SmackDown.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yep, SmackDown gave us a great show. As Saint just said, a lot to unpack. It ignited. We had a brawl between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, and let's get first, like we did with Raw, to the SmackDown matches. You had Rhea Ripley defeat B-Fab by DQ as she was attacked again by the trio of Jade Cargill, Michin, and B-Fab. You had the Bella Twins defeat Alexa and Charlotte Bliss.
What is it? What? Not the takeoff. What are they called again?
The takeover or something?
The takeover. Get the fuck out of here, man. The takeover.
Get the fuck out of here. Exactly. The Bella Twins defeated Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair after Lash Legend got involved and smacked Alexa Bliss upside her head, causing her to lose her balance and get hit by, I believe it was Nikki, and she got the pin. But the Bella Twins and Charlotte and Alexa were having a battle back in the locker room. That's why I think it's going to end up being a fatal five-way. Kabuki Warriors, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, and who was I just talking about? The Bella Twins for the women's tag team titles, and then Lash Legend, and then the Irresistible Forces. That's your title match at WrestleMania.
I hate that name, man.
The Irresistible Forces.
I don't know what's going on lately with these new names of teams and stuff like that, but WWE, y'all need to get y'all shit together, man, because these names are sucking ass.
And in
the Irresistible Forces. Get the fuck out of
here. And what ended up being one of the biggest matches, the Glamazons. Yeah, I like that one though.
I don't even like that. That sounds like something from the fucking 80s.
It was from the early 90s.
Yeah, or some shit 90s. Like that's like some pink colored, like neon. No, that's some neon.
Well, I'll say, but in what was the biggest match of the night by far, we saw Jelly Roll defeat Kit Wilson 1-2-3 after a choke slam. A lot of people considered it one of the worst matches of the night. I actually thought, for somebody who has really only been in a wrestling ring once in front of people before this, and having just started studying wrestling and the art of wrestling a little over 2 years ago, I thought Jelly Roll did really well. I thought he did extremely well. He didn't do Logan Paul well, but he's not that dude. He's not that dude, but he did do well. I thought he did it. I thought Kit Wilson helped him, definitely carried the match as the veteran, but he made Jelly Roll look good. Any thoughts on Jelly Roll potentially having a WrestleMania match, gentlemen?
Possibility.
Yeah.
Possibility. Yeah. You got to throw. Sometimes you have to throw the celebrities a bone. I mean, You think about the match between Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn. You think about those guys, which was actually damn good. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
Yep,
we'll see.
And did you get to see? Have you seen SmackDown or Raw this week, Dave? No.
Nope. So, like I said, I'm not doing streaming right now, and that includes TV. That just needs too much bandwidth.
No worries. All right, and then we also had, in what I consider, like I said, the match of the night. I was joking about the Jelly Roll and Kit Wilson, but this one, it really was. Sami Zayn defeated Carmelo Hayes to become your new United States champion, immediately setting up a match between himself and Trick Williams at WrestleMania for said United States championship, which I think Carmelo Hayes is going to get himself involved in that match. I think it's going to be a triple threat.
Yeah. Whoop that Trick.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like Trick Williams, he's an anomaly,
Yeah.
He's it's kind of like I'm not saying he's not a fake ass rapper. He's to me he's kind of like a pseudo pimp, pseudonym pimp. You know, like
A pimp named Trick Williams.
Yeah, no, not even a pimp named Trick Williams. It's like no, his game is. I don't know. I guess I kind of do. I guess I don't like him. Maybe.
You're just not feeling the heat.
Yeah.
All right. So
Trick.
Here's a little factoids about Trick Wilson. He is a former football player, played at college football at Hampton University. Signed with WWE in 2021. He's a two-time former NXT champion and a one-time former NXT North American champion. He became the first active WWE superstar to win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So there you go, Trick Williams. All right, that's going to make for a hell of a match, but this is going to make for an even better match, as this was announced on SmackDown as well, and that is the one and only Jacob Fatu will be taking on Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match.
Yeah. We need that. Yes. We need that. Let's go. Let's effing go. Fucking we might as well go on ahead, and I'm wondering which night it's going to be, because I think if it's on the first night, yeah,
it may open the show.
Yeah,
it may open the show. Which here's the thing about it. For those of you wrestling fans out there, opening the show is not a bad thing. It's actually in some corners of the wrestling world considered one of the main events. Is opening the show, because you get to set the tone for the night. So being in the very first match isn't always a bad thing. It doesn't mean you've moved down the card. I know it seems like it, but it's not always like that. And if they do open up night one, I think it'll be a hot start to WrestleMania, because these two have been beating the living hell out of each other for the past couple of weeks, to the point where my favorite scene from this week's SmackDown was Jacob Fatu standing there with no shirt on, with his belly and his midsection wrapped, telling Drew McIntyre to get his ass down to the ring, and Drew's hobbling because they both fell off of scaffolding last week, and yeah,
unsanctioned match.
Yeah, so that led to Nick Aldis coming out and giving them an unsanctioned match.
Yeah, that's gonna be brutal, dude. That's gonna be. Yeah.
I think
somebody's gonna really get hurt.
Ever since heel Drew made his first appearance, we've been waiting for this collision for a couple of years now. So I am glad to finally have us get it. Like it's gonna be pretty awesome. All right. So that is pretty much it for the SmackDown talk. Oh no, there was the main event brawl, as Randy Orton came out to talk more shit. Cody Rhodes came out to confront him, and somehow out of all of it, Jelly Roll ends up getting an RKO. What? Well, that's where we're at, guys. Randy's listening to the voices, and they're telling him the RKO Jelly Roll.
That wasn't cool.
That wasn't cool, man. Where's Carlito at? I need him in the apple. I need to spit in the face of those who don't think I'm cool. Oh man! All right, so yeah, that's it for SmackDown, and that's going to lead us to our main event of the evening, which is Tech Tinker's favorite segment. All right. Let's talk some video games. The first subject up is about Nintendo is slashing Switch 2 production by a third after poor U.S. sales. Well, yeah, when you charge $600 for something that looks like it should be $200, or $200 for something that looks like it should be $100, like, you're not going to get many people to buy it in this economy.
Yep. I just took a look at the prices. Nintendo Switch is at $450.
Yeah.
PS5 Slim is $550. And so, yeah,
I miss the days when video game prices went down after they've been on the market for a while.
Yeah,
I miss those days.
I totally understand, agree, but a lot of this is due to the, simple chaos of the economy. The tariffs interrupted Nintendo's rollout of Switch 2, and I remember when I got my Switch, it was like it'd been out for a while, and it's still been like half the price of the current Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah.
So Nintendo needs to lean back into what they are and what they do best, which is fun, casual gaming. Yeah. They're not going to be the world, AAA system anymore. Right. The way that they were with the NES and the SNES. They're not going to get the marathon remakes and stuff like that. They'll get remakes, but they're going to be like 10 plus years older to be able to keep up with the graphics capability. Yeah. Just, fun, portable, easy. Neither Microsoft or Sony can do it as well as Nintendo does. That's what they've geared their business around. Don't try to compete with them financially.
With the console market.
Just do your own thing. Okay.
Well, there is a big hole in the market for handheld gaming right now.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Most people are carrying around a small computer in their pocket with their cell phone. I get that, but not everybody wants to sit there on their cell phone and play these games. And things and devices like the Bone make it a little bit easier, on the hands. But still, give me a device like that. Nintendo put all your money into, instead of developing any type of console right now, put all your money into developing a handheld thing that's like the Switch, but just not as expensive. Figure out a way to keep those prices low like you did before, and you can match sales with Xbox and PlayStation easy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take an Xbox with you or a PlayStation with you with the same ease that you can a Switch. You want to take your Xbox with you? Sure, you can do that. You got to have a backpack size case, and you got to spend good 10, 15 minutes unplugging it all and getting all the cords and cables ready to go over to whoever's house. Switch, whip, yank out, take it with you. You're good.
And it's like I said. Any thoughts, Saint, on Nintendo slashing their production of the Switch 2 in the U.S. due to poor sales?
Well, I mean, there were already controversial issues with the Switch 2 in the first place. So, I mean, there's nothing really new under the sun when it comes to that. That particular topic, especially when it came, to some of the software and not being able to have this particular version because of this and that and so forth. So, I just didn't think the Switch 2 was going to be as successful as the original Switch.
Right. And, one of the issues also is the price of the components that are being made are getting screwed up by the tariffs and the trade war. And so,
here's the thing with it is the tariffs are the reason too. But the thing that sucks about it is after the tariffs go away or are changed, but they're not paying them anymore, and we go back to whatever the old system was or to a brand new system.
Well, that's true. That's for anything, and not just video games. It's anything. Anything corporate. They'll use whatever casus belli that they can to raise the prices, and then when that situation is no longer existing, the prices will not drop.
Yeah, the prices will not drop, and that's where you got to hit them with your pocketbook. But at the end of the day, like I said, in this economy, you got to think about Xbox. Just to put it out there now, before Xbox and PlayStation comes out with their next gen systems, think about that. And what you're doing with it is that the economy is not what it was. So paying $1,000 for a video game system just to have the newest one is not really something that many people are going to be willing to do as they were in the past. Like I said, I remember, but then, I always tell the quick story of saying, I at one point said if video game systems ever got up over $1,000 per system, I would stop buying it. Well, in order to get my Xbox 360, an extra controller, 2 video games, and a backpack to be able to take it around in, I paid about $1,000. So, evidently that didn't stop me, but it was still ridiculous to me to be paying $650, $750 just for the console itself. And so that will always blow my mind. Anyway, so my daughter does have a Switch too, but I did not buy it, thank God. So I didn't have to spend the $450 or whatever on that. All right, so Dave, you were the one that put this in the group chat and came back and said it was a clickbait article. You want to explain it to us a little bit about Fortnite officially shutting down certain game
so
modes
hang
in
on a second.
2026?
Oops. Let me switch back. Oops. Sorry. Yeah. So there was an article that popped up on CBR.com where the AI summary that you see just says Fortnite shutting down. Well, the title of the article, Fortnite officially shutting down game modes in 2026. Okay. Fortnite is not going away, but they're not doing well. They are suffering a loss of players, a loss of revenue. So what they're doing is they are shutting down 3 of the game modes. Okay. So ballistic, rocket racing, and festival battle stage for those of you who play Fortnite. Those are going to be shut down throughout the rest of the year.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, still hear me? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Sorry, I've got a really bad headphone jack on my laptop. So yeah, it's ballistic and festival battle stage are going to be shut down on April 16th. Mm-hmm. Rocket racing will be active until October.
In order to continue living, they must cut off the dead parts. Yeah. Allow the good parts to live. Nah, that's just video games. Like eventually, certain segments of certain video games, just like me and Swab constantly complain about the servers with 2K and why do they keep shutting down the servers but not allowing people to save their stuff online to be able to continue playing it offline. Yep. But yeah, so say la vie to those modes, to those who liked playing them. Sorry. All right, so we kind of have very little information about this other than this Screen Rant article. What exactly is Cyberpunk 2077 Ronin?
Okay. Love talking Cyberpunk, even this.
All right.
Yes. Now, for those of you, I'm sure that Saint knows the importance of April 18th.
Not right offhand.
Okay.
No.
It says April 18th.
Free Record Day.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, what's just been announced is called Cyberpunk 2077 Ronin, which is not a new video game, but it's a compilation of the music in Cyberpunk 2077 put down on vinyl for record store days.
Okay.
Now, sadly, this is only going to be for the vinyl purists among us who are in the UK and Ireland.
Okay.
But still kind of cool that, this is going to be a effort for a release for the cyberpunk culture.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Yep.
All right. And Dave, you had a last minute announcement for the video game section. What did you have for us, sir?
I did.
I thought you had something, and I told you we was going to talk about it during the video game section. You said it at the beginning of the show, right before we came on. I forget what it was about. I know you had the whatchamacallit announcement during pop culture about Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
But I thought you had something that was involving video games too. All right.
Brainy, no work.
Yep. Brainiac is not involved in this particular episode. So we're going to say we forgot and move on.
Let me see if I can re-find it real quick. But
I did want to make real quick mention. I did manage to play the demo of Star Trek Voyager.
Okay.
And you can kind of alter the story a little bit, a whole bunch of like what ifs and stuff like that. And I think I might end up having to play that. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I've been trying to catch a lot of these independent titles and so forth. And there's one I know that's coming out. It's called Samson, and it's an open world type of thing, kind of like on some GTA type of shit. But the thing about it is you're in debt to an organization, and it's like the guy's sister is being held, so he has to keep trying to make money before they put the squeeze on him. So I'm looking forward to seeing this next gritty action type of thriller, because I like those kind of noir type of thrills. So yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
So I just remembered what it was. So this weekend is the gaming convention and general science fiction convention known as Adepticon. And get set, 80s kids, because it was just announced that Harmony Gold and Crunchyroll teamed up to license out Robotech as a video game again.
Okay.
A video game that will be coming out this summer, apparently.
Okay.
And it's being made by Joy City. And for those of you with fond memories of Battlecry and Invasion, it's basically just going to be Android / iOS mobile game crossover with Joy City's Gunship Battle. So it's basically Robotech, World of Tanks, World of Warships. So
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset with that.
They were
don't
we were all excited.
Me with a good time.
Yeah.
It's no, really, like I agree with y'all. Like, give me something on the PC or my console. I'll be willing to, like, I haven't played a PC game in decades. So I'd be willing to play a PC game.
Remaster Battlecry and Invasion for Xbox and PlayStation and Switch already.
Yeah.
No, listen. I hate to be, I hate to be an asshole or anything, but one of the to me the best Robotech game out there is Robotech Battle Cry, and I'm fortunately, I'm fortunate that I actually happen to have a copy. I might end up having to stream that because that is a really important chapter of Robotech.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Just everything about it was great. And I even liked Invasion, which was the lower key follow-up for Next Generation, where it's basically a first-person shooter Cyclone game.
Yeah.
It was okay. Wasn't anything spectacular, but it was fine. It was fun. But
I still think Zone of Enders is kind of a perfect model for what could be a Robotech game.
And beyond that, Switch has not tons, but it has several Macross games. One of the main ones for Macross is I was telling Dark Lord about this. It's basically you in a Veritech. It's a side scroller, and it's basically a Defender in a Veritech.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's there are lots and lots of ways you can do this without. I mean, I don't even think it's going to be like a separate release. It's just going to be like Fortnite, where it's going to be Robotech skins and mods in World of Gunships or whatever the game is called.
Oh man, yeah, like that. That is going to make me
once again
want to play.
Once again, Harmony Gold edges us only to bite themselves in the ass. And most of the social feed for Robotech is like, okay, we're still waiting on not just the live action movie, but the Shadow Chronicles movie, and all this stuff that we've been promised for the past 20 years that is supposed to be coming. And, that's what happens when you get real estate and tax scammers that are in charge of a property. That's what the Agramas are, is that they are real estate scammers and tax scammers.
Oh, there you go. All right, y'all. So, all right. So we are going to wrap it up on that note and jump into what is the last segment of the night, which is Where Can I Find You Next? Or We Find You Next, where we discussed what is the next steps for us for the rest of this week. So, Dave, where can we find you next?
You can find me next, possibly this week. I do have an electrician coming out tomorrow to check out what's going on and why the outlets where the cable box is plugged into are not receiving power. So keep updated. Keep watching the Facebook page. I will let you all know.
All right, Saint, where can we find you next, sir?
Depending on how things go this evening, I will be doing a small game stream. I will also be doing a game stream tomorrow as well as Tuesday. We're going to be just kicking it in over the next couple of days with a couple of game surprises and some throwbacks and stuff like, oh, Lord have mercy. What are we doing now? Cheers.
There you go. All right. And then for me, you can catch me in about 2 hours right here on Le Classroom, brought to you by First GenXers Presents, and brought to you by First GenXers Broadcast Network. And then after that on Tuesday with College Football 26 and the regular video game streams for this week. So you can also scan the QR code and check out the 2KK2 Network website where you can find all the information, dating, and all that fun stuff there about what's going on with us here. And you can check out the First GenXers YouTube page, which is some people may be looking at us from there right now, and find out all of that as well. Clips of the shows themselves, etc. All right. So that'll do it for us for the Cheap Pop Podcast. What's up, Dave? Can't hear you, bro. Your mic's steady. Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, so that's it. All right.
That's it. All right.
All right, y'all. So that's it. Saint, you gonna rate us out?
Yes, sir. Going
All right.
over the creeds.
There you go.
All right.
So you're headed.
Later, y'all.
Enjoy, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.